After a thrilling open race, last night it is the big boys' turn to play. This is the 2022 One-Up All-Star Race from the Lebanon Valley Speedway, this beautiful high-banked half-mile dirt oval playing host to the All-Star Race for the very first time. It's the One-Up Superstar Series only trip on the dirt this season, and this is going to be an absolute thrill ride if the Open was any indication. Alongside me in the booth today for this All-Star Race is James Ellison, and, well, we got the big boys' turn to sling some dirt tonight. This is going to be a real thrill ride for all 19 of our drivers, 3 of whom transferred in from the Open. And, well, this is the moment, this is where all the bragging rights. What is the mindset going into a race like this, where there's no points on the table and everything's up for grabs? You got to go 110% all the way.
Yeah, it's absolutely going to be pedal to the metal. You floor it and go for it. And hope you don't smack the wall or into someone else as you go. This is really huge because, like I said, it's no points, all bragging rights. But winning this is always going to be an important thing for everybody who has the opportunity, because you get the chance to win, you go for it. And if it works, you might find yourself standing there with a big smile on your face and the fans cheering your name. At the end of the day, though, that's all that matters. It's that, or you go home feeling defeated.
Absolutely, and we can give you the full starting lineup for tonight's All-Star Race, set by a random draw a few days before the event, with J.D. Martin drawing the pole position, Nick Ortiz lining up alongside him. Emma Carter lines up third alongside Cale Teskar Jr., one of 3 rookies in this race. He will line up fourth, and lining up fifth is the defending Nitro National Series champion, Ryan Caggiano. His championship in the lower series last year qualified him for this event. He lines up fifth in another Kings Motorsports entry. We've got some big names starting further back, like Jared Polanski, Stephen Hunter, Justin Hutchinson, and of course you can't forget the 3 drivers that transferred in from the Open. You got Devin Fair in 17th, Miles Mashburn 18th, and the fan vote winner Justin Henley in last place 19th. You think any of those 3 can make headway in this race and give these guys a run for their money, or do you think it's going to be all about track position at the beginning that pays off for track position at the end?
It could be we saw what it could be that way. We saw how well things went for Fair and Mashburn in the end, especially Fair. He dominated. Led just about every lap, if not every lap. He could be one to watch out for. But I'm also looking at those who are already in here. Polanski, Teskar Jr., they've got some good runs. I wouldn't rule out Lane Sanders either, despite some of the mixed bag of luck he's had.
All 19 of these drivers have a shot at winning it, and that is what we want to see here in the biggest race of the season for some of these drivers. So with that being said, we've got the field all lined up on the grid, and we're ready to bring you 70 laps for the One-Up All-Star Race. This is coming at you live from Lebanon Valley Speedway. This is going to be a great one, folks. Stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss a second of the action, because the green flag is coming up right now. As the field rolls off turn 4, J.D. Martin and Nick Ortiz take the green flag, which is in the air now. The 2022 All-Star Race is underway, and they're pretty even for the first few rows as they dive off into turn 1. But J.D. Martin's got the run off of turn 2. He's going to power off of 2 with the lead as they head down into turn 3 for the first time.
Yeah, it's no surprise the pole sitter gets the chance to take off, and oh wow, there was a close call there for Ortiz, and it seems to be all right, but time will tell. Now Carter is under attack from Caggiano. I believe I'm pronouncing that right.
Yes, you are. That is Ryan Caggiano, the Nitro National Series champion from a year ago. He has finished every race down there in the top 10, and now he is in 2 laps. He's already climbed his way from 5th to 2nd place. This 71 car is lightning fast, and I think that he's going to be a real force to be reckoned with tonight, as Cale Teskar Jr. follows his teammate through into 3rd place as we complete lap number 3.
Yeah, this is impressive right here. Just watching the 71 move, but yeah, Teskar, I know he's determined. He's already got some success this season, and I know he wants more.
Looking back to on the second part of the top 10, Jeffrey Finguy gets a little tight in the corner, washes up the track a little bit. That allows Stephen Hunter to his inside, move the 51 up into 7th position. Past Jeffrey Finguy, as now Christian Vargas makes his way to the back. And how about Devin Fair? He started 17th after winning the Open, and in just 5 laps, he's already in the top 10. This is amazing.
I said, just watch out for him, because he dominated the Open, and now here he is as he gets past Polanski and now going after Finguy.
Could Devin Fair post a massive upset in the All-Star race, winning it as a rookie? That's never happened before, but he's got a long road ahead of him because he's already 2 seconds off the lead, and as he gets further out the field, these cars are going to get harder and harder to pass as the stronger cars seem to be making their way towards the front of the field. But as of right now, it is J.D. Martin still with about a 0.6 of a second lead, as now Caggiano faces pressure from his teammate Cale Teskar Jr. and from Nick Ortiz behind him.
Yeah, it was nice to see Caggiano get some spotlight here, but like I said, Teskar, he wants this. But in order to do that, he's got to get by his teammate, or else he might fall into the clutches of Ortiz or some of the others behind him.
No doubt about it. We're already about a 7th of the way through this race. That just goes to show how fast this is flying by. However, these two teammates battling side by side for the second position, that just allows J.D. Martin to get a bigger lead. We saw this a little bit during the Open yesterday, and Devin Fair knows that all too well. He drove away from the field to score to win that day, but J.D. Martin, now that the battle for second has sorted itself out, he's got to be careful because that 71 car, I think, is wicked fast, and he might be the guy that challenges J.D. Martin for this win later on in the race.
Yeah, he's close, and he's almost there already after finally getting away from Cale Teskar Jr. It's really impressive to watch.
This is Ryan Caggiano's first and only planned Superstar Series start of the season, and he is making the most of it. Started 5th, and within 5 laps he was up to 2nd, but he's pretty much stayed there for the last 7 or so laps. He's just been biding his time, trying to claw back the deficit to J.D. Martin, who has led all 12 laps so far in this race. He is just dictating the pace out front, but he's got to start playing defense a little bit soon, because that 71 is coming in a big hurry.
Yep, and it's like you said, you gotta watch out. 71, he is literally like 2 car lengths away right now, and it's kind of holding steady at the moment. But that doesn't mean he won't catch up, especially if something happens and JD makes a mistake.
We didn't see any yellow flags in the Open, but this All-Star race is a whole nother story. It's over twice as long. And I don't know, this is just going to be very interesting to keep our eye on for the rest of this race, because J.D. Martin, he's our most recent winner. Remember, he won last time out at Phoenix in a points race, so he comes into this with a lot of momentum. He drew the pole for the All-Star race, and this is just going to be a very interesting thing to keep our eye on for the rest of the night, because Caggiano, he's closing that gap in a big hurry.
And here he goes. He just had a big surge. He's inside JD right now. This is big. Like I said, it's the one start he's got, and he's making the most of it. Could he pull off the upset and really turn some heads here tonight?
But really, would it be considered much of an upset? Because he is one of the best Nitro National Series drivers we have in this series, as here he comes to the inside of J.D. Martin. This is the battle for the race lead, and he comes sailing off into turn 3. Ryan Caggiano has a win on a short track. He won at Bristol last year in the Nitro National Series. He won at Martinsville 2 years ago in this Superstar Series. So he has a lot of experience winning on short tracks, rather, and he's making a move for the lead right here down into turn 3.
Yeah, this is nice to see, because that car is sponsorless, but yet he's not driving like it's sponsorless. He's just trying to power on by, but JD's not giving up, and well, he might finally have no choice here, but he's still holding strong.
That outside line, it's great for defending, but that inside's the superior groove by far as they power off turn 4. It's a drag race to the line. Oh man, that was very close, but Caggiano got him at the line. We have a new leader in the 1-Up All-Star race, and it's the defending Nitro National Series champion, Ryan Caggiano in the 71. They're still battling side by side for the lead here.
Yeah, they keep fighting. They're going to have some people on their tails, although they seem to still be stretching out that lead over Emma Carter.
Absolutely. The gap between them and the 70, 1.3 seconds. So these two are making this a race of their own right now at the front of the field. Caggiano and Martin side by side. No longer. It is the 71, free and clear into the race lead. We still have just under 50 laps to go, though. So Martin's got to think about making a move back because, oh my goodness.
Hello.
Yes, we've got a new challenger in the mix, and his name is Devin Fair. He won the Open last night, and in just 22 laps, he's charged from 17th on the grid all the way up into the top 3. This is a Herculean effort from Devin Fair to make himself into the top 3 of this race. Can he chase down the leaders with still well over half this race to go?
He wants this. He wants it bad, and I am very impressed with what Devin's doing here, and I hope it pays off for him to have at least the stellar night he's looking for.
Absolutely, he's clawed his way from 7. He's gained 14 spots in this race. Remember last year in the All-Star race, passing was almost impossible there, but we've got a really competitive field this time around, and Devin Fair is making the most of it. He has passed 14 cars in this race to now be only behind the battling pair of JD Martin and now the race leader Ryan Caggiano. As we look back now, the rest of the top 10, Lane Sanders holding on to the final spot in the top 10. This battle for 9th with Jared Polanski, who makes a move down the inside of Jeffrey Finguy. That is the move for 8th as they're side by side. I think Finguy's going to hold on just for the moment.
And Polanski kind of squeezed up there a little bit. That almost gave Sanders the room to get back by both of them.
And I saw one in the wall, and it's the 83 of Duke Anzac. He is struggling in this race. He just slapped the wall pretty hard, and that cost him about 2 spots there. But he's going to continue on, and he's right back on the attack, getting inside Justin Hutchinson. That is a battle for just outside the top 10 in about 14th, but every position is worth fighting for because you never know when anything in this race can change, as Anzac's going to try and get a 2-for-1 here as he tries to go under Christian Vargas, now looking for Rebecca Andres Molina running 18th, and Justin Henley, the fan vote winner, trailing behind in 19th. I think his equipment is just getting the better of him in this race. He's not on par with the rest of the field, but for Justin Henley, just making this all-star race was the goal, and he has done that. He can be very proud of what he's done here tonight.
Yeah, and the only thing he's going to have to worry about this night being ruined despite where he's running would be if he ends up being the one that causes the problem for the leaders here shortly. It just depends on how quickly they catch up to him, or even if they catch up to him at this point.
Coming off of turn 4 to complete lap number 30, it is Ryan Caggiano still in the lead of this race with JD Martin second, Devin Fair still in third, and we have to report, after a strong run starting in this race, we have to report Emma Carter's day has come to an early end on lap 30. Her engine expired on the 30th lap of the 1-Up All-Star race. It's a real shame because she was having a very strong run in that 70 car, but all that dirt blocking the entrance to the air intake, and that's just all it takes for it to overheat beyond repair, and just like that, car number 70 done for the night.
Yeah, that is a real shame because she was in third up until Fair came along, but man, that is a real shame to have a decent night like that just go up quite literally in smoke.
Yeah, but she's got to be happy that if there's one thing to be happy about, it's that it happened in this race and not in a points-paying event, because Emma Carter doing a very nice job in the point standings, and this will not affect that one bit, and she can gear up for Kansas next week. However, for the two leaders, it is still a dogfight for the lead, but Caggiano's starting to pull a bit of a gap on JD. The gap now 0.6 of a second, and now that he's up into third place, Devin Fair really hasn't been closing in that much on the top two.
He's not. It seems like it's kind of stable as it keeps fluctuating between like 1.2 and 1.4 at times, but he's really just riding around at the moment, hoping that something happens that he can have another shot. But in reality, the 71 and 66, they seem to be just as good as that 08.
Like I said earlier, these cars that Devin Fair approaches, they're going to keep getting harder and harder to pass, as we're now halfway home in the one-up all-star race, with Ryan Caggiano holding about a 0.7 of a second lead over JD Martin. Man, what a story this would be if Ryan Caggiano can hold on to win this race. And I tell you, two guys who are watching this race with much interest, Nelson Reeves and Roberto Crown Jr., both of them failed to make the All-Star race through the Open, and their jobs are on the line right here. Because if Ryan Caggiano can win this race, that'll be great news for Jared Polansky, that he has guys waiting in the wings that can take over if Reeves or Crown don't live up to their potential. Because if Caggiano can do a good job here and in the rest of the Nitro National season, he could be a prime candidate to replace one of those two.
And that's the big thing. On one hand, this guy's driving for a chance to move up to the Superstar Series full time, and the other two, like you said, they're worried that their rides might be in jeopardy. It's amazing what can happen throughout the season when you see who's performing and who's not performing the way that they were asked to or expected to. But it just races like this sometimes even can be an indicator of how things are going.
And so far, it's going perfectly fine for Ryan Caggiano, whose gap is now 0.8 of a second over JD Martin. That gap continues to grow. Devin Fair now 1.6 seconds behind. Cale Tescar Jr. 4 seconds off the pace. So I believe this is going to be a 3-car battle for this race win if they can get closer to each other between Ryan Caggiano, JD Martin, and Devin Fair. I'm not sure those are the three you guys expected to be competing for the race win in the one-up all-star race, but sure enough, this is where they're at with just under 30 laps to go.
And at some point, they might catch up to the 42 of Justin Henley here, but that all remains to be seen. We could see it, we could not. And if he messes up that 71 any bit, you better believe Martin and Fair are going to be all over it.
Yeah, how about the job Devin Fair's doing, honestly? We're coming to 25 laps to go. Even if he doesn't catch those guys to win this race. But for the underfunded Team Dayspring, with such limited resources, they're having the drive of their lives right now in the All-Star race, from 17th to 3rd. In just 20 laps, they might not have gained in the 20 laps since, but they're doing an incredible job hanging tough with Kings Motorsports, Robbers Racing, Finish Line Motorsports, all these elite teams, and who knows, this could lead to some further development for these guys.
And it's just showing what the team has right now to be able to run on dirt like this and put some muscle in it, even as Fair continues to slip further behind the 71, and it's really amazing to see what small teams like that can do.
The dirt can be considered one of the big equalizers, but even if that's the case, Devin Fair has still had the work for this, and he's doing an incredible job. But we're closing in on 20 laps to go in the All-Star race, and it's starting to become Ryan Caggiano's day. He's got one hand on the trophy already. They're starting to etch his name onto it, but anything can still happen in these final 23 laps that can change this race in an instant.
You don't start etching the name on it until the checkered flag falls, and that's just the thing that you got to watch out for. You don't want to celebrate too early, as you got Tesker there and so many others who are just watching their chances just drive off on them.
They're now 5 seconds off the lead, but this is an impressive thing to report. 3 rookies in the top 5 of the All-Star race. That's something incredible, although with the talented crop of rookies we had this season, is it really that much of a surprise?
No. Not a surprise at all. You've seen it. Teskar, Davey, and even Fair. They're all doing really good this season when things go their way. It's not a surprise at all to see them doing so good in such a prestigious event.
Here is Jared Polanski for a brief moment running in the 6th position. We can also report that the other driver to transfer in from the Open, Miles Mashburn, he has climbed his way into the top 10 as well, running in the 8th position. So both drivers who raced in through the Open running in the top 10 right now. They're putting on a very strong drive as Justin Henley is about a straightaway ahead of Ryan Caggiano. I'm not sure if the difference is great enough for him to be caught by the end of this race. If they do catch him, it's going to be really close to the end of the race.
And that could be all it takes, because even though you got Caggiano there over 1 second leading now, it could all be for nothing by the end of it if he happens to catch the 42 and the 42 just screws him over. So you really got to watch out here. And like I said, you don't put the name on the trophy until the checkered flag falls.
That's what J.D. Martin's hoping, because he's got to start making inroads on Ryan Caggiano in a big hurry. The gap is now a full second between the 71 and the 66. This is going to be very close. I think what J.D. Martin needs to do, he's got to gain about 1/10 of a second per lap if he's going to have any hope, because that's going to give him about 5 laps. If he does that, that's going to get... Oh, he did a lot more than that. He gained about 2/10 that lap. So that's exactly what he needs to do. He's just going to keep gaining on the 71 and give himself enough laps once he catches the 71 to try and attempt to pass on it.
Yeah, like I said, okay, and it just drops back. But for a little bit there, it looked like he was going to gain something. Like maybe the 71 slipped, but regained his composure there, and he's just driving back away again.
Yeah, he lost all the advantage he gained on the previous lap. We now have coming to 14 laps to go. He's got to gain about 1/10 a lap in order to do that, but he's losing more time. This could be Ryan Caggiano's race right here, unless either Justin Henley holds him up in a big way or the caution comes out. We didn't see a caution at all in the Open, and we have yet to see one in the All-Star race so far. But we have now 13 laps to go, and at this point in time, Ryan Caggiano's got a 1.2 second lead, and now he's got Devin Fair by 2.5.
Yeah, JD's just lost 1/10 of a lap right there, the last 2 laps, and honestly, without a caution or something going wrong with the 71, it may be all she wrote, but I'm still not ready to etch Caggiano's name on that trophy just yet.
It's not over until the checkered flag flies, as they say in racing. We're coming to 11 laps to go now. J.D. Martin's got to be gaining a lot more than he is. He just lost about 0.5 there. He needs to gain about 2.5 per lap. And there you see Justin Henley running about a half a straightaway ahead of Ryan Caggiano. This is going to be a big thing, because these two have never raced one another on the track before. Ryan Caggiano has not raced with Justin Henley ever, so they don't know what each other is going to do, and that could play a big factor in how they interact with each other on the racetrack.
It's going to be the big unknown unless Henley just gets out of the way or Caggiano just moves to the line that the 42's not. We'll have to wait and see, provided they get around each other before the checkered flag.
Coming to 8 laps to go at the line now for Ryan Caggiano. He's stretched his lead to 1.5 seconds over J.D. Martin. And Ryan Caggiano's just got to put together 8 more solid laps. Nothing courageous, nothing heroic. You don't need that. You don't even need to go and pass that 42 if you don't want to. You can just hang out back there, steer clear of trouble, and you'll have your first All-Star win before it's all said and done.
He is closing on the 42, and looks like the 7 there up ahead. So Molina might play a factor in this as well. We'll have to wait and see.
Diving it off into turn 3 to take 6 laps to go at the line, Ryan Caggiano has put this field under in the All-Star race. He has led from the moment he took the lead on lap number 19. He has taken over and not looked back. Coming to 5 laps to go when they get to the line, Ryan Caggiano, boy, would this be a massive story if the Nitro National Series champion, he only qualified for this race because of his championship in the Nitro National Series. If he wins it here today, he'll be racing in many more All-Star races from here on out.
Yeah, that's going to be big for him as far as his future and whether or not he runs in the Superstar Series next year or if he just continues down there in Nitro National. But coming up on the 42 with roughly 3 laps to go at the line, he might not want to get too excited just yet.
There's still anything that can happen, especially as this 42 gets closer and closer in the 71's windshield. You see him getting a little tight off the corner. That could be a factor. Coming to 3 laps. We're at 3 laps to go now. Now J.D. Martin's gaining a tenth of a second per lap, but it's just too late to make any inroads. Now he has to gain about half a second per lap if he's going to have any hope of stealing the win away, unless the 71 has a huge mistake. But I think the 71 now, with 2 laps to go in this race, is just hanging back, not trying to pass that 42, just going to try and hang on and cruise to victories. We're coming to the white flag this time.
Yeah, he eased off quite a bit there to keep from running over the 42 or causing himself a big issue. White flag in the air, last lap.
1 lap to go.
It's definitely his race right now.
Coming down the back straightaway and into 3 and 4 for the final time. Ryan Caggiano only made this race as this Nitro National Champion. He's going to be a what-up All-Star Race winner. Ryan Caggiano takes the checkered flag and he wins the what-up All-Star Race in a commanding performance. He led the last 52 laps of this race, and J.D. Martin, after leading the first 18, will have to settle for second. Devin Farrow, an incredible drive from 17th to 3rd. That is an incredible performance, and he's got to be happy about that one. Cale Tescar Jr. comes home 4th. Mark Davey makes it 3 rookies in the top 5. Justin Hutchinson, he started pretty far back in the field, and he clawed his way up to 6th. Jared Polanski 7th. Miles Mashburn transferred in pretty open. He finishes 8th. Ahead of outside pole sitter Nick Ortiz in 9th. Jeffrey Finguy, the final car, inside the top 10 at the end of this All-Star race. And, well, say what you will about last year's running, but this was an absolute thrill ride from start to finish. We never quite knew what the outcome was going to be until the very end, but boy did Ryan Caggiano earn this one. He is a real all-star now, and you better believe he's going to be seriously considered for a ride in the Superstar Series for very long.
Yeah, that is just incredible. Congratulations to Ryan Caggiano, and man, I gotta say, a bit of heartbreak for J.D. Martin. I'm pretty sure he was hoping to be able to cruise away with this one, but he did not count on that 71 and the driver that was running it. And it definitely big props to Devin Fair. Won the Open, could have easily won tonight as well if he had the right opportunity.
But that's all she wrote for the All-Star race this year. Next time you'll see us, it'll be back to points racing next week at Kansas Speedway. It's going to be a lot of fun to see the entire Superstar Series field battle it out over there in the heartland of America. We've got to look forward to the return of points racing next week at Kansas. But that's all we have time for this All-Star weekend. So, from James Ellison and from myself as well, we say goodbye for the 2022 One-Up All-Star Weekend. And not sure many people bet on Ryan Caggiano to win this race, but boy, he sure proved them wrong. He is your All-Star race champion, and he's going to have a lot of eyes on him as soon as silly season opens up. Ryan Caggiano, the winner at Lebanon Valley.